So we always like to show people on Facebook the behind the scenes of
The behind the scenes of the behind
the
the scenes.
behind the scenes of the behind the scenes.
Now,
Sometimes that's the best
check
show.
check your number 2 camera there, John, and we should have. Yeah, there. Dwight's got a good shot there. Now we got
Okay, we're good to go.
all the good people look good.
So have you guys met Todd? Did you meet him at the memorial?
Probably for 2 seconds, right?
You didn't meet Todd,
I'm not
did you?
sure.
Yeah, I don't think you ever have met Todd. Well, Todd, this is Maurice.
Maurice,
and Paula.
hi. Yeah. Okay.
How you doing, man?
I am doing good. Good to see you. And I'm going to. Kat just now sent me the cover of your book, so you know how that works. So I'm going to real quickly make sure we have that available.
Yes, because first of all, I'm going to welcome everybody to Facebook Live tonight. This is the most exciting time because I've known Maurice for a long time and Paula, and when he had this book come out, he's holding it right there. There's nothing general about it, just was released in the last week or two. And it's already on the New York Times
And I've got it
bestseller
up there.
list.
So,
So
John,
we have it.
you can punch up the.
All right, so we've got it up there. And I am so excited about this because, I mean, I've written a book, Todd's written a book. We know what it means to be able to say, my book is on the New York Times bestseller list, and I'm just going to say it for you because, dang, Maurice, that's amazing. How did you feel when you made that list?
You know, it was there was a lot going on because I had a little bit of anxiety. And so when my book company told me, they were so excited. I couldn't match their excitement.
Yeah, I
But
know.
inside, I was starting to cry. I really was starting to cry.
You know, it's funny because you were talking about having anxiety during that moment, and of course, anybody that has experienced
Well, go to
anxiety, which
Kat,
I have,
because
and
he's talking.
millions and millions and millions of Americans do, they know that anxiety is something that just creeps up on you, and bam, there it is. It doesn't matter what's going on. Isn't that true?
Yeah, it just, well, in my situation, sometimes anxiety does creep up like that. But mine, a couple weeks ago, a lot happened at one time,
Yes.
and it just threw me through a loop. And that was it.
So, when you talk about anxiety in that sense, do you feel like it's free floating or is it situational?
That's a great question. It's like for 2 nights I had panic attacks, and then it's just free floating. It's kind of in me. Every day gets a little bit better, but you got to keep doing what you were doing before the panic attack. Working out, eating well, stay out of your negative thoughts.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because when I do shows, at the end of every show, people wait in line to come say hi and talk to me after I do hypnosis shows or mentalist shows, either one. And you know, it's amazing how many kids have anxiety today. You know, it's incredible. I know this because parents want me to talk to their kids and they want to talk to me about it. And so the first thing I always ask people is, do you think it's free floating or is it situational? And even 13-year-old kids know what I mean by that. And I just think that almost all anxiety is situational, even if we don't consciously know what it is. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah,
that
right.
makes sense.
Yeah, so when they say it's free floating, then I try to direct them immediately to the thought of and teach them how when they start to feel it coming on, because you always kind of it's almost like a knock at the door, and it's sometimes real quick the door opens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes. So when the knock at the door comes, I always like to tell people to say, identify. I just say it, identify, and think of the last thought you had before the knock came on the door. and it seems to it helps me a lot, and and I don't experience as much anxiety as I used to. Mine started at 9/11, so it was situational, and then it was just fear compounded all the time because I lived in New York City. But
Have we started this show?
we've been on, but I just want to,
We
I
didn't
just
have
want to
our-
say, no, but we're going to, we have clips and all that stuff, but there's so many people out there that suffer
Sure.
all kinds of stuff and in this genre, and that's why I think that this book is so important.
Well, and I think that was the point of the show too, was to connect all these things together, give them a chance to talk about that. And I also brought a clip of Carrie actually in a manic mode,
Ooh,
and I'm going to run it for
I
you.
want to
And
see that.
yeah, I want to get your take. Well, actually, it's a scene out of Bright Lights, the documentary we did, and it's in Carrie's own words what she's feeling and what she's going through, and the footage is actually shot back in the '80s. And then I have another one that is a more recent one, but you'll hear Carrie's own words about what it feels like for her to be in a manic moment, or not in a manic
Yeah.
moment, in a depressed moment. She actually named her moods. We'll let her in the clip. You'll see. It's
Yeah, so-
but I just thought it would be good because I know that you have a lot of insight, given the fact that you're a fellow traveler, into that, and I know Carrie always gravitated towards people that were fellow travelers.
Yes.
I love that word, fellow travelers. All
I
right,
love
well,
it.
you know what? Do you mind if we play that clip right now, and then we'll,
Do I mind?
you don't mind, do you?
That's why we're here.
Okay.
Okay, so give me a second, John. I will cue that up.
Whoops, I'm going to go ahead and turn that
Turn
down.
your volume
Got
down.
it. All right. So this was during the documentary Bright Lights, and what was really amazing, Maurice, and you're probably gonna, I want to ask you, because what happened was during the filming of the documentary, she had an episode, and
Damn.
yeah, right, and the cameras were rolling.
No, I didn't include. I can bring that up also.
Okay.
But the first clip we're going to do is the one where it's earlier in the documentary where she's explaining what it's like to be manic and or bipolar, and it has some early home footage of her and it's her narrating.
Right.
And then Debbie talks about. We've also got Debbie in the clip, by the way, so she explains what it's like to be a mom of a bipolar person. So. Having said that, Kat was explaining there's another segment.
Yeah, there's
in the
another
film, which
segment.
I can bring that up too.
Okay.
But let's start with this one since we've walked in. Here we go, John. Punch it up. Should be good. Carrie and I started getting high together when we were I was 15. We used to smoke weed together and we had a lot of fun. And then, she moved on to other things. And I didn't. I became a control freak. The flip side of that was Carrie, who seemed to enjoy being out of control and not remembering or escaping. When I would stop, she would keep going. And I think it's because she was trying to sort of muffle voices.
Manic depressive is a disease. Now, that was not diagnosed then. So nobody kind of knew what was going on with Carrie. When she was 13, her personality changed. So it's a constant battle. It takes all of us to assure her that she's loved, and that won't get her.
That's hard. That's the hardest part.
It's Christmas here in China on the wall, and we're headed for the top.
Come with us. Join us on a walk on the wall.
Follow the yellow.
Carrie and I had some fantastic travel experiences together. But at the same time, there's some scary stuff that happens.
Come on, everybody! We look like we're tired. We're having a ball!
is said in a hymn, who stands on shore and sobs. One mood is the meal, the next mood the check.
I'm Pam now. See, when Roy got this cold, he wouldn't let him stop it. Because Roy is bigger than all of it. But I just fit snugly into the mood pocket that is Pam's. I don't have any choice. I don't dictate the ride.
So there is the first clip that we wanted to show you and to ask you what your thoughts are about that.
That's amazing.
I mean, do you relate to some of that?
Well, you know, yeah, I can relate to a lot of it. I mean, it's because the mania is what we feel. You feel like you're on top of the world. You feel like, you know, what it feels like to be on cocaine.
Yes.
That's what the mania feels like. And but it's scary because you can spend money. I know I spent money, and I used to talk kind of in different languages.
Yeah.
And you know what? I could read Phil Donahue's mind.
I saw that in the book. He was watching the Phil Donahue show, and he was, I think you were a teenager then, or, you know, and
I was 21,
oh,
and I'm telling you, when I say that I could read Phil Donahue's mind, and people may not believe it, I would be in the room, and before he would talk, I would say what he was going to say.
Wow.
did this really happen?
Yeah.
Yes. My
Wow.
mom was in the room.
You know, Carrie had
And
a.
I remember another time, listen to this, I was with somebody, a friend of mine, and he's sitting there in the couch in front of me. And I said, I can read your mind, Jeff. He goes, shut up. I said, no, think of something. And then I would say what he was going to say, what he was thinking.
Unbelievable.
And he got so scared he went in his room.
Well, how do you explain this, though? I mean, that
I don't know, because when you're in that hyped mania,
yeah.
you're just extra smarter.
No, I
mean-
totally
Oh, yeah.
understand that.
Well, I do too, 'cause
Carrie
I-
was in the mental institution, and I was,
Yeah.
and she had been up for 3 straight days, and she was
Yes.
just flying, and they could not shut her off. And she was doing that. She was projecting into the television, and people would walk in the room, and she, would, you know, and everybody was like, "Wow, what are we seeing here?" You know, I mean, it is supernatural.
And the
It
mind
is supernatural.
It is supernatural, and the mind is incredibly complicated. I mean, you have 2 brains, the conscious and the subconscious, and the reason they say we only use 5 or 6 or 7% of our brain is because we're in our thinking mind. I think when you're in mania, you're in your other mind, you know, your creative mind,
Yes.
and your endorphins and everything are just
But you know,
flowing.
I tell you, when I came out with my book, you could still go on tour and meet people, and I met a lot of people that came up to me and related specifically to Carrie and her bipolar, and they would say to me, "I cannot tell you how much it's meant to me, you know, Carrie being so upfront and outing herself about not just the bipolar, but also the dual diagnosis, the drug addictions and all." And they were like, "Man, it's just made it okay for me." And that's why we love your book, because you're championing that same thing.
I've been talking about bipolar and mental illness for over 30 years. And I went on Oprah twice talking about it. But at that time, it didn't seem like the world was ready,
Sure.
because it kind of just came and went, and then but I just kept talking about it. But I think right now, people are starting to get what mental illness is,
Absolutely.
especially with coronavirus.
Maurice, could you tell me what you mean by that? With the
Well,
corona?
because I think now people are starting to, with what's going on in the world, it's starting to affect people mentally,
Yeah.
and people are now talking a lot about it and what could happen. Let's say we don't open up the economy, I don't know when, but soon or whatever. People are going to start losing it.
Yeah, I think it's happening now, as you say. I mean, more
Unfortunately.
than we realize.
Yes.
The world is already a very fragile thing, and then when you introduce something so quickly and so dramatically, and say to everybody, now you can all stay home, and alter the entire routine of an entire country or world. I mean, we have destabilized the planet in terms of mental illness. I mean, there's no question that it's going to enhance drugs addiction, drug use.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, or, I mean, the people that were sitting around already on their couches and getting stoned every day. I mean, how much more of that is there now? Man, so yes, but what we've been doing, Maurice, just our whole show, this whole reason why we did the show, was to get people off of that. I'm focused on the good stuff, because there are good things going on within all
Yes.
of this. Yes, there's some horrible things going on, and yes, they are tearing people down, and all of this is going on. But we can't let that happen. And I almost 3 times now I've quoted this, and I'll do it for you. You may remember the movie Starman with Jeff Bridges. And in the movie, he's playing an alien.
Yes.
He says, you know what I find most interesting about you humans? And the lady goes, what? He says, when things are at their worst, you are at your best. And I really think that says a lot about America and about our people. And I want everybody to rise up and get past. And I'm sure that's the point of writing a book too, and the fact that you're sitting there. My sister survived 60 years of mental illness. That's a long ride for somebody in her condition, so to speak. And here you are.
Positively. The book is about going through a lot, but at the end seeing the light, overcoming all the pain and everything. When I did the audiobook, I couldn't believe almost what I've been through. And but you know what? One thing that I could say is that I overcame it. And here I am today.
Oh, I think that you deserve a ton of credit. Believe me, as a brother of somebody going through what you have and continue to go through, I know what that was like. I mean, I know what it was like for her. And it was a miracle every day that we had her with us. And every day when I would hear her or see her and she could get above it all, it was it's a great moment. So, and she wrote about it, but not in the way that you've written about it. Your take on it is unique as hers is. But, these takes are super important. Your take is absolutely as important as hers because it inspires and directs people. But most importantly, it inspires people to be around. I mean, I know so many people at so young of age that have left us because they couldn't tolerate the voices.
Well,
the journey was, the traveling was too much.
But here's really my love the book so much. But what I love is reading about you and Paula's love story, because though I've known you for a long time, I've never known how you met, how long you've been together, what that was, and I enjoyed reading that so much. And I think that it is so difficult to be in a relationship when one person is experiencing what you do, and yet
Carrie was not able to do it.
she couldn't be in a relationship.
Carrie could only handle maybe a year and a half tops, and then the whole thing would melt down. So I'd love to hear how you.
Oh,
how did they get through it?
beautiful. Well, he met her when she was still in high school. He was a few years older, and so she came from a very chaotic household.
Well,
and
so she could handle a certain
no,
amount of chaos.
but his family invited her to come and live at their house. This is the great part. So, so she came to live with Maurice's family, and he wasn't quite ready to settle down yet. And so, but he wanted her to have a chance
They were
to
already
get away.
packaging the deal for you. Sounds like an arranged marriage in a third world country here, right?
But I suspect, I mean, I do suspect that Paula is a great deal of your time in recovery, and the things you go through. She's been there since the beginning.
I am fascinated to hear how all that worked because I never saw Carrie able to do it.
So
Ever.
we're asking you, how did that work?
Well, it all started from, the beginning where Paula never wanted me to pick her up at her house. And I never figured out why. She'd say, pick me up at the corner, pick me up at work or here or there. So 3 months later, I decided just to go to her house. And it was a sight to behold. It was about 10, 15 people in one little house. And they were just, I'll say it bluntly, they were just drug addicts. So Paula came out of the house and we went to the car and she looked at me and she said, now you know why I never wanted you to pick me up at the house. And I looked at her and I said, I don't care if you're rich, poor, who your family is. You should be running from me. I was just in a mental institution and I'm bipolar. And she looked at me and she said, I don't care.
Wow.
And then that's how we started the journey.
But she must have some special gift there. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Because I honestly,
very special.
and I know that to be true because as I said, I saw Carrie for her whole life not be able to hold on to a relationship, her whole life, and that's hard, because I was always, happily married and having a good relationships, and she would come to me and ask me why, why can't I can't hold on to a personal assistant even, much less a mate. And if you look at some of her longer relationships, it all blew up. She couldn't, they didn't have the tolerance. It's a handful. Remember,
Well, I'll tell you this.
Yeah, go.
If it were me in relationships, it wouldn't work out either. It's just that Paula's a special breed, and she's so patient, and there was a lot of love there, but I don't think anybody else could live with me, to be honest with you.
But you found her, or she found you, or I think the reason why I like this part of the story a lot is because it's so many of those people that are struggling with this, can't have a relationship or don't have a relationship. And so there's hope. You can find a person that,
Yes.
That's the point.
And I think that that's the whole point of the book, is giving people hope, because there's so many people that are writing in right now. We have a lot of people here, and they're writing in now, and so many people are saying this is a great conversation. We're so lucky to be listening to this discussion. My daughter is bipolar. My mother is bipolar. So, I mean, this is just so huge.
You're not seeing the questions on your end, but Kat's got a feed here
Yeah.
of all the people asking live or commenting live, and it's
You know what's changed in my life? Maybe 2 years ago, if I had a Instagram Live or Facebook Live or this, 80% of the questions would be acting.
Right.
Now it's 95% mental health.
And you prefer that, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, because, you've been talking about acting for 40-something years. You've been at this a
Yeah.
long time. And there's only so many...
I'm done with acting.
Yes, there's so many questions you can ask somebody about their show. And this is what I call
Right.
the Lord's work, being able
Yes.
to help people that are going through the same thing, being able to be authentically you. Because I read in your book where you said your first agent said you can't ever talk about this, and at that time he was right. But it's a wonderful thing to be able to talk about this, and you will be able to go on and do speaking jobs and talk to
Yeah.
corporations and companies and institutions that need your message. And I think that your whole life is going to blossom and change from writing this book and being authentically you.
That's a nice word, authentically you. I like that.
Yeah, well, that's what we get to be when we're not trying to hide behind our secrets. You know, like it's their secrets are what make us sick, no doubt about it. So
I have that other clip if you want it.
okay. So Todd's now going to play you another clip from the documentary Bright Lights of Carrie, and this was the one I was talking about. And then I have a question for you after the clip.
So let's see. There it is, right there. I got to just find the end of it.
Okay.
Okay, so John, I'm gonna start it. I think right there. Yeah, who knows? We'll see.
You're a funny girl. That's me. I keep them stitches. Don't have. And though I may be old, wrong for the guy, I'm good for a laugh. Thank you. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. You know it would be so cool to get to the end of my personality and just like laying the sun. I have to watch a little of this. I'm sick of myself. I'm crazy about ya. You okay, Carrie? That's how I've gotten through a lot of it. It's abstracted. So that it's not happening to me. It's I'm a child. I'm manic right now. I didn't know if you. And I haven't been for a while. It'll go out of style soon, and then I'll just be quirky.
All right. So
Now that one that was actually not, that was way later in her life, obviously, and that is when we were thinking about putting that in the film. Everybody said, "Oh, you can't do that." Her lawyers even told me. I said, "Hey, that's the point of the film." "Oh, but we can't talk about this and show this." And I'm like, "No, we have to, because this is what Carrie is trying to get out, that it's okay. Not only is it
Yeah.
okay, but you can excel in the face of it." I'm not saying that's a tough moment for everybody. Rips your heart out to watch that. But at the same time, look at all that she was able to accomplish, even in the face of that. And
well, she could have had that taken out. She had the right.
Oh, she had the right.
But she kept it in.
Well, she was
allowed
like,
them.
"Well, why do we want it?" And I'm like, "No, she was on board. I mean, it would have been stopped if she wasn't on board. I mean, I obviously pushed it forward to get it there, but we had to override all of the lawyers."
Yeah, but yes, because nobody wanted her to be seen in that
Oh,
way.
we
Yeah.
can't look at this.
So
No,
what
no.
what do you think? Do you think if that had been you, you would have allowed it to stay in?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I've always been an open book with everything.
right.
There's only two things in the book that I left out. in my life. And I wanted to put one more in there, but I wasn't allowed to.
Can you say what it is, or if you can't, that's
No.
okay. Oh yeah, okay.
It's pretty bad.
We got to
Yeah.
protect the innocent. No, I mean, in a way, that there were things, the thing about Carrie is after she had passed away, the press tried to make a big deal out of it. They called me one day, like a year after, and they're like, oh, it leaked that her toxicology report that, she had drugs in her system, long pause. And your point is, and I was like, this is no news. I mean, Carrie wrote about it in 5 books. So she did drugs. Oh my God, how revealing! What a story, ladies and gentlemen. But so I think that's the beauty of what you've done. Is you've
Well,
let it out.
no one has anything on you when you just
When
say
you out
everything.
yourself,
That's
yeah.
right. When you out yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that great?
Did the drugs that Carrie took, was that to help her?
Yeah, so as you probably relate to this, I'm going to tell her story as I see it. You tell me if you relate to this. So whatever drugs they gave her, which over the years was a concoction of psychopharmacology drugs, it's incredible. And over the years, they always tried to tune it and get it right, and they never could get it right. So she was always self-medicating. So it's not that I think, it all began with recreational drug use when we were kids. But later in life, it really became maintenance.
Yeah.
But they weren't drugs that the doctors gave her.
No. She had her own. Carrie knew more about the physician's reference guide than doctors. Especially in the opioid fields. She knew every kind of pill there ever was. She was a freaking expert and knew she would know what to take to sort of manage her own swing.
That's interesting.
See, the doctors would over-medicate her, like in an attempt to get her under control, and then she couldn't create anymore. So what is that what we want? To turn. So anyway, I don't know if you relate to that, but that was my take on why she took drugs.
So when
because
go ahead.
I'm having a bit of a hard time sleeping.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And I've been taking a little bit of Xanax, just a tiny bit. And it does the job, man. But then I don't want to get hooked on it. So
Well,
that's my problem.
The thing is, you just said the magic words, which is just a little tiny bit. And,
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. That's
Just
right.
a little bit of your drugs for me.
So, but you need sleep, so that's a good thing, And,
Well, that's the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
Sleep is essential, more essential. It's right up there. What is it? Like air, water, sleep, right?
sleep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Shelter. You got to have these basic things. And I know with Carrie, if she didn't get her sleep, boy, it could really get on a dangerous path.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you're at work at the show, because I didn't know Todd when I was on the soap, so I would explain to him the incredible hours, and when you're a lead actor on a soap opera, the pressure on you is unbelievable. I don't know what your schedule is like at General Hospital, but
Well, being a physician, you should be able to have it all figured out.
but no, he is very front and center, which means that he's on several
in
times
all the
a week.
scenes, yeah.
And that kind of pressure, does that exacerbate anything, anxiety in you, or?
I'm so used to doing soap operas because I've been doing them for over 30 years.
Yes.
Because that's not the pressure that gets me. Even though to some people, soap opera, you got to do everything in one take.
Right.
And that's difficult. But I'm kind of used to it. What gives me more pressure and stress is like getting on a plane. I've been off 2 planes. I've had them open the doors.
Really?
And they looked at me like I was a terrorist. That gives me pressure. What's happening in the world right now gives me pressure. But acting, you know what? Usually I can do it.
That doesn't pressure him.
Yeah. I was just
Carrie was like that. Life was the pressure point, not the acting.
Yes.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not in those exact words, but that was what she meant.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of truth to that because Carrie, if you really wanted to say what Carrie did too much of, is she thinks too much. She thought too much. You relate to that?
That's me, man. Overthinking.
Yeah.
My wife wants to slap me around.
Well, after how many years have you been married?
Over 30 years.
30 years. You have 2 or 3 children.
We have 4.
What? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
See what happens when you get locked in? How did you fit in that with the soap opera schedule? Where'd you have time for all that? That is.
I can work it in, believe me.
You know what? That reminds me so much of. Okay, this is highly personal, but I found it really funny. Remember Super Soap Weekend when we would go down there, and I had a talk show there. Remember?
Right.
Yeah, and so I had a talk show at Super Soap Weekend, and therefore I was at a lot of the meetings that took place regarding Super Soap Weekend, and I was privy to a lot of the not demands, but the requests, let's just say, of people and actors. And I was like, oh, I don't want to hear this. Because I said, I'm seeing the underbelly of daytime now. And so I remember, nobody ever complained about the actors asking for things, but they were like, Maurice Benard needs 2 rooms. Or 3, I can't remember. It was 2 or 3 because you needed one for your
one for the kids,
because
one
the
for
kids
them.
were little, right? And they had a nanny, and they needed a room just
Yes.
for themselves because
Yeah.
he wants to
Sounds
make
un-
love every
sounds-
day. And
sounds
I
un-
just thought that was the greatest thing I ever heard.
What an unreasonable request.
But the fact that all the executives knew this, made me laugh so
Hey,
hard.
these are facts of life.
But this is really, the 2 of them have a remarkable relationship.
No, I can not only, I know it to be true because there's just no way it would work. I told you, I mean, I know that when you have bipolar disorder, there is no way that you can be in a relationship unless you're with must be just an extraordinary person. It has to be true. I mean, I haven't met her, but I know it's going to be
Well,
true.
I have a picture of them. You want to show
let's
that?
put that
yes,
picture up.
because you have to see the beautiful
Stand by
Paula.
here when we get over to the picture department. I didn't have a chance to load these into the computer, or we could have done it differently. We're doing this all from my laptop.
So, Maurice, are
There you
we
go,
a
John.
little bit of a different talk show than you've been doing?
I'm having a good time here, man.
Well, that's good.
I don't feel pressure.
No, that's good because you're with friends.
And only people like us know this to be true. For people that do talk shows, the worst thing about a talk show is you go on a talk show, and they give you 10 or 15 minutes if you're lucky, and what can you really do in that time? You're so rushed to get out of thought.
Yeah,
God forbid
that's
that
true.
there's a dead moment, of time, or I'm going to talk about something that I want to talk about.
And that's why I love doing this here because we're our own producers. We just sit and talk about life. We don't plan things. And 2 weeks ago when I called Paula, where I texted Paula and I said, I would really love to have Maurice on the show because this is something new. We started out doing this show every night, just the 2 of us. And
It
then,
started in her cosmetics office on a phone, just streaming around. And then I said, it kept, we wanted to do more, and then it got more and more popular, and pretty soon we're like, all right, well, let's kick this up a notch or 2 or 3 or 4.
yeah, and we moved it into
Wow.
the theater, which when this is over, I want you and Paula to come visit. I want you to
Oh,
come.
I'd love to come.
And we have all the animals here, and I know you love animals, right?
No, we got a zoo here. It's
See,
ridiculous.
Well, let's hear what you got there.
let's talk about the zoo.
I got how many dogs, Paula?
Warren and Catherine, we don't have a zoo. They have a zoo.
We have, no.
Paula says you guys have a zoo.
We do. We do. But so you have.
I have alpacas.
There you
I
go.
have 4 goats. I got about 7, 8 dogs, 3 parrots, snakes.
Oh, they're right there with
That's
us.
up there. And all of this is an
Horses.
apartment in New York City. So that's pretty impressive.
No, they live
I'm
in.
kidding.
Where
It's a joke.
Yeah, you live outside of LA because I can see that
No,
you have land there.
I always, but everybody thinks of the soaps being done in New York. So you could get away with saying, yeah, I have all those in my apartment here in New York, right on the south side, on the west side of Central Park West. So I've got the book. Throw that up, John. And Kat, why don't you say something about the book to your people?
Okay, I want to talk about, just say that this book is, so important. And of course, you're so popular on General Hospital, and people loved you also from All My Children. I hear people talk about that still, and that was a long time ago. But that's the thing I think that I'm most grateful for from being an actor, is even though I don't do it anymore, I'm grateful for the career because it was a great platform, and it is a great platform. And you're standing on your platform right now, and you're doing great things with it. And the book is so wonderful because it's not only about surviving this, it's a love story. It's a thank you to so many people from you for being on this journey with you, and it's so beautifully written that if no one ever watched General Hospital a single day in their life, but they're watching right now, or in the when they come and watch it tomorrow or whenever they do, you need to get this book because you need to understand what this is, and so many of you already relate, but there's so many people out there that have mental illnesses and they don't know it.
Yeah.
And so you see, it's a great thing to read about somebody's life because we all have a little something. I believe that. Do you think that's true?
Yes.
I think we all have.
Except me, of course.
Oh, now, okay, if I had to say
I'm
what yours
joking.
is, like you talk about, you definitely have a touch of ADD. I do too. But, and there's a little touch of this and a little touch of that. One thing in Maurice's book I'm going to ask you about right now is that you discovered that Kin Shriner, who also happens to be somebody I've known almost my whole life, has OCD.
Yeah. I didn't really like Ken. Not that I didn't like him, but we weren't friends in the beginning.
Right.
And then about 4 years ago, we were talking. He told me he had OCD, and I couldn't believe it. And now we're like brothers. We're like real close friends.
Well, I wonder if he's ever even told anybody that in his whole life.
I don't. He doesn't seem like the type that does talk about things.
No, and I've known him for so
Well,
long.
I think you're right, though, also, that there's all these, many people are running around and they don't know they know there's something off, but they don't know what, or it comes and goes. I think there's a lot of that going on, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But managing and identifying is the first step.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Ken, we were roommates. We did a soap together. Then, we were roommates.
Get that doggy.
Get him. And and I never saw any of that. And I'm not sure. Maybe if I knew what I was looking at.
Right.
Yeah.
But I adore him.
I see it all the time now.
Isn't that funny? So how does that manifests in different people in different ways? From counting the tassels on the carpet to turning the lights on and off, on and off, on and off. So for people that are out there that might have OCD and they're not really quite sure what it is, I mean, how would you describe that?
Oh boy, the only way I could describe it, because I don't know anything about it,
Yeah.
is the Jack Nicholson movie.
Wow.
Oh, you
One
mean
Flew Over.
No, not One Flew
No.
Over. It was.
I love that.
Oh, what's the name of that movie,
Where he's
Maurice?
stepping on the cracks.
You're stepping on the
so
cracks.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
As good as it gets.
As good as it gets.
As good as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great title.
Even
too.
his dog didn't step on the cracks. Do you remember?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was cute.
That was
Well,
so
they
great.
kinda, what is
I
it?
love
Your
that
dog
film.
becomes you?
Your dog becomes you, and Maurice has 8 dogs that are going to become
They're
him.
all him.
And you're so blessed because your storylines are always meaty and meaningful
Yeah.
and deep. Don't you feel
Yeah.
right?
I feel very lucky that having played the character that is deep and is in the mafia, but he has kids, so he's well-rounded.
Well, there's a lot of
And-
layers there.
Well, look at the
Yeah.
bright side. Otherwise you could have had Cat's character. I mean, you'd be in prison all the time, killing people. So,
No, I relate to the character he plays because when you play that kind of character, the audience knows when you walk in the room, something's going to happen. And
Yeah,
that
there
isn't
you
that
go.
a great that
Yeah.
so that's the only kind of part to play really because it's so fun. But so it's almost 7 o'clock, and I don't want to keep you any longer. I just am telling you that we have so many people in the room right now, and everyone is just so grateful for this book. They're so grateful for you. Everyone just is loving this, and I am as
show the
proud as
book,
I
John.
could be of you. You have the same publisher as Todd does.
yes.
So you-
HarperCollins.
All right, Todd.
HarperCollins.
They are. I chose them over a lot of people because they have a
yeah,
great
we went to
reputation.
auction. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a great job, and they're handling yours beautifully. I mean, you wouldn't be. I think it's a nice marriage.
Right. And
Yeah. They're the only ones that wanted me, actually.
Is that right? Well, there you have it.
You wanna
But
know
know what? I
something?
think maybe it could partly. I could tell you that they were partly attracted to me because of the depth of that story. My book was called My Girls, about Carrie and Debbie, and the complexity of that life. It was about my growing up with them and what that was like from my perspective, and so they like deep stuff.
yeah, no, they do.
Yeah.
And what I love about the fact that if HarperCollins is the only publisher that was interested in your book, that's even better because
Yeah,
it's
because
doing
it tells the
so
other
well.
ones, nanny.
Yeah, no.
all you shallow publishers out there,
No,
take that. Take that.
Well, it's just, first of all, it's so hard to get a book deal today, and that's why people self-publish. But I'm couldn't be more proud of you. And if there's anything you want to say to people before,
Does your wife want to take a peek on
oh,
it, or is she hiding?
she's probably hiding, but I would love to see Paula.
She's hides. She
I know.
wasn't here.
I'm telling you, she looks so beautiful. She hasn't aged a minute.
No, she's fantastic.
And your daughter looks just like her, Kaylee.
Yeah, she does, I admit.
Oh my gosh.
Like a miniature Paula.
Yeah, she's a mini Paula for
Nice.
sure. So what would you like to tell people, before you go?
Well, first of all, I want to thank both of you for
Aw.
a really great interview that just seemed very easy for me,
Good.
and especially in these times. Appreciate it a lot. And I just want the fans that have been with me from day one to buy the book. And I think that as far as mental health, they'll learn something from it. Maybe even a good love story,
It's a great love story.
overcoming. There we go.
Yep.
Listen, nothing better than a good love story.
I would say
That's
that is
true.
true. That is very true.
I mean, we've been living off of that forever.
Yep.
Yes.
All the way back to David and Bathsheba and, all of the...
Well, it's also there's a great spiritual. There's this. He found his spiritual journey in all this, which
Yes.
is so great. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Let me tell one story, spiritual story.
You can take as long as you want. We don't have any bosses. There's no clock.
Wait, let me call
All
up to
right.
the network. Hang on a minute. Can we get a few more minutes on here? Oh, I'm sorry. That's the story. Go ahead.
Okay, we're ready.
I was in in the mental institution. And being a bad boy means you don't know or you jump on the counter like I did. They throw you in a seclusion room. And they tie you down from your wrists, your waist, and your ankles. And all I was trying to do was get out. But there's no way to get out. But there was a latch on the wall. And I grabbed the latch and I broke it off, and it's metal. And I put it to my wrist, and I felt like I wanted to maybe not be around anymore. And then I started to pray and ask God for help. And as I did that, I took the latch, broke it in half, made it into a cross, and put it by my bed.
Nice. Very nice.
I love it. And there is a lot there, you get the sense in your book that you do have a relationship with God, and it's yours. And
But people get to a breaking point too. It's like in It's a Wonderful Life when Jimmy Stewart's just at his wit's end, and you finally
Yeah.
cry out to God. That is so much different than religion,
oh, of course.
because it's not about any of that all of a sudden. It's very personal.
But I do think that
Yes.
that's what when you're weak, you're strong means.
Well, yeah.
Because it is at your weakest points in life that you seek something that you wouldn't if everything is just going fantastic, So
Well,
Very
if
true.
you're always trying to overpower the vehicle too, then when and where is there any room for God to be involved?
yes.
So we can overpower the vehicle.
I can't thank you enough for coming on. You are an inspiration to so many people, and I hope that doesn't put a lot of pressure on you, but it's just what you were born and what God packed your bags for.
Well, yeah.
It is. It is. And
Well,
so
and so that's even the fact that you have this disorder is part of the magic of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, would Carrie be Carrie without it? When they medicated Carrie too much, it was no longer Carrie, and the magic was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the good news. It's a blessing and it's a curse. But
Yes.
but it's what makes you also what you are, and the as a whole, it's what makes you who you are. That it's part of the package.
yeah, it comes with there's a lot of sides to that dinner.
To that meal, yeah.
That's why I said that we got it, but we all have a lot of sides. So it's really great. I'm just super proud of you, man. Thank you so much.
We
Thank
love
you.
having you, man. Thank you for taking all this time.
Thank you. It was great. Fantastic. You guys were great.
Thank you, and we'll see you after this whole quarantine is over.
Yeah. We'll come out there and have fun.
Oh yeah, that's what life is supposed to be. Bye, Maurice.
Bye.
Okay, so we are still here because, of course, that was for me really great because I absolutely adore both of them, and it's so fun when somebody writes a book, and especially one that's so important.
I'm sorry.
And I'm so happy for him that it's doing so well. It's just great. And that he came on to talk with us is just great. And you're going to love him when you meet him.
I can already tell.
Yeah.
I relate a lot, obviously because of everything that Carrie went through. I just relate a lot to everything
Yeah.
that he said. I mean, you read the book,
Mm-hmm.
but I could tell he's a, fascinating character.
Yep. Such a talented person.
And I love the fact that, that he became spiritual, in those desperate moments.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So we're going to just take a peek-see at...
You can look at your, yeah.
Yeah, just let me see what's going on in Facebook land. This was great. Bravo. Great job. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Maurice, and thanks to Kat and Todd for having him on. Very special. That was awesome. Wow,
think
great. This is why... This is one of the greatest things about having a platform like this.
So, when I was doing my book tour, they were asking me what shows I wanted to do, and one of the shows that came up is, do you want to do Larry King? I was like, of course I want to do Larry King.
Right.
I mean, Larry King is, he's the legend, right? And he, of course, did my mother and sister and father, and we've done a show. But the thing that's great about Larry King, he gives you the whole hour.
Yeah.
That's old school, but it's also the only way you're going to get anywhere. This whole snapshot, 2 minute, 5 minute, 10, whatever it is.
I can't stand watching it. It's so manic to watch people come on, and a book or a film or a TV show deserves more than 5 minutes.
Now, I am sure there is some study that was done by some executives somewhere.
Focus
But I don't
groups.
care, because maybe that's for some millennials or something. But I tell you right now, I don't know what you could possibly get out of 5 minutes of Maurice. You needed time for him to relax and tell him stories, and you don't get that in 5 minutes. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So the whole talk show industry fine. I mean, there's plenty of shows where they have the 2-minute talk show, and if that's what you're into, fine. But it's not what I'm into. I would much rather watch somebody talk for 30 minutes and get into it.
Well, especially someone that's interesting, So, I mean, there are certain. Who was it that used to say this? Oh gosh, Chaz Palminteri used to say, he would say some actors are 10-minute actors, some people are 15 minutes, some are 5, some are an hour. And then there's those that are like an hour and a half, and that means you could watch them in a whole movie. And I think that that's really true. And he's an hour
Well,
and
they're
a half, this
great
one.
storytellers, right? People that have had great life experience, and they know how to articulate that into great stories.
Yep.
Whatever that might be. And I mean, I've never been, in show business per se on the front end of the camera, and yet my stories, seem to be just as interesting to people. It's all how you tell the story.
Well, you're a great storyteller.
Okay, if you
You
say
are,
so.
or as Phil Carey, who played Asa Buchanan on One Life to Live, used to say, "You're a good raconteur."
Raconteur.
Yeah, he used to say. But anyway,
My mother was the queen of it, though. I think it's time for a giveaway. What
you
do
want to
think?
give?
You
Is
feel
anybody
like-
ready to win anything out there?
Should we soften it up a bit and let us do a giveaway?
Yes, we
Maybe?
will. Hey, Letty, how you doing? Also, Terry Stokes popped by tonight.
Terry Stokes,
Yes,
the master.
the master godfather hypnotist of us all. And we had some fun people pop in here tonight, so that was great.
Let's do a number game giveaway.
Let's
We'll
do a
keep it
number
something-
game giveaway. What do you
Why
have
don't
to
you-
give away?
Did I bring anything different today?
Well, do you have any bright lights, or do you have any?
Well, we certainly have a bright lights. but-
Okay, so let's do that.
Yeah, because so we don't. I don't have it in my hands, but we're going to do a bright lights DVD.
So to win a Bright Lights DVD, I'm going to. Well, look who's here. Dora.
magically speaking,
Dora is here. Hello.
Here it
How's
is.
your night going? Did you enjoy that interview? Isn't he something?
So we're going to do a bright lights. Give me a close up of that, Johnny. We're going to do. By the way, tonight, technical director is Johnny Haas. Back
Haas.
in the saddle after many, 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 many days of being retired. He has come out of retirement for this show. He's been so amused by it, and he was wanting to help us kick it up a notch. So he and Samantha, his sidekick, have come all the way down from the mountain to help us increase the production
You
value.
know what, John? You wouldn't get in front of this camera, would you?
Come on down, John.
Come on down here.
Put it on the shot.
I want everybody to know that this. Okay, so I'm going to have to do that again, I think. I want everybody to know that this is like my son.
Yes. There's room right there.
That's right.
Move that stuff. He could sit right
Okay,
there.
right here,
Sit right
John.
there.
Right there.
That's in the camera view.
Okay.
Per view.
All right. Right there, all my stuff.
Parents or West Coast parents.
That's,
or
yeah,
The
he has
West
real
Coast
parents in
parents.
Florida, and in Pennsylvania. Yes, but he lived with us from 21 to 31.
Yeah,
I'd say that's pretty much the years of most people's growth.
Well, John
Right?
and I met on a documentary film when he was like 18.
17, 18.
Yeah, but it's at a certain point when he got out of film school, he literally came and lived on the ranch
And then met
for many
Kat
years,
shortly after that.
Yeah.
and so he wanted some showbiz parents, so we stepped into that.
It's worked out great. I'm happy to do that. This was fun.
Was it?
Yeah,
And he
I'm
went.
gonna start.
I'm going to brag on you. You went to Full Sail University in Orlando.
Yep.
And he studied filmmaking, and so he was on the road with me when I was touring so much. He would come out and work the camera, and we had a blast.
Even some of the big motorhome tours.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, Arizona State Fair.
Yeah, we had some good times.
A month.
Ohio.
A month we were there, right? But John
month
is
long.
so talented, and he's doing us a huge favor in technical directing this show, which is.
Yeah, it was fun.
Did you have fun?
The thing is,
Yeah,
in
great
order
interview,
to
too. It was great.
in order to observe proper social distancing, we can only hang out with people that we know, and they've been
Well,
in isolation.
It's right, because he lives actually right down the street.
He lives
He's
in
been
our
isolating.
little compound here,
as-
but also he and I play golf together regularly, and so everybody has been observing proper distancing. So the friends you can have.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just really happy that you're here and part of this with us.
Me too.
Yay!
Dan, thanks for coming with me. My girlfriend
Samantha.
She's not ready
Yep.
to come on camera, I bet.
I just give her a thank you for coming along. But this was fun. And what, 3 times a week? It'd be
3
fun to
times
show.
a week.
I'd love to do it. You know, it's-
Really?
You heard it here first. John's wants
Johnny's
to come
coming
be
on
involved.
board. We're going
I'm
to.
out of retirement. Golf's closed.
That's
might as well come out of retirement and help.
Everyone's saying hi to you, John.
Oh,
Hi.
Yeah, let's see what these
everybody.
comments are.
Maxine says, "Hi, John. I met you with Kat." And hi, John. Hello, John. Everybody. A lot of them do know you from the
A lot of
road.
your friends do.
You got a
Yep.
great job. Somebody said great job.
Hey, oh my gosh, yeah, look at, oh yeah, John, look at my boy's famous. That's right.
Love you guys.
I love
All right.
you too. Okay, we're going to give things away now. That'll be fun.
Well, we'll keep it simple tonight. How
Yeah,
about just do this?
we'll just do a couple. Hold on.
Okay, I already saw the number down
I
there.
know. I'm going to change it because I realized that it was on camera. So don't let them see what I'm writing, John. Okay.
All right, we got the bright lights.
Yes, there you go.
So this is going to be a number between
50 and 90.
50 and 90.
Yep.
And the first person to guess that number gets the bright lights DVD.
Okay.
I wonder how many of these things I even have. But anyway,
So if you win the DVD, you can have Todd sign it.
if you like, Kat and I both could, because Kat is also in Bright Lights.
I keep forgetting that I was in that. That's right. So me and Nugget, we were in Bright Lights.
And the kit car.
That's right, and the kit car.
So you have the number?
I do.
All right.
No one's, okay, we're going to start.
No,
It's-
you have to transmit the number.
My gosh, here we go. Remember, I'm the one that reads minds, but tonight you're going to read my mind. I'm sending you a 2-digit number for
Oh, it
between
comes up.
60 and 100. Got it already? Who is it?
What was the number, Kat?
The number 79. Okay, she's going back to see who it was first.
You see, she gets the feed so much faster.
Oh, Mark and Kathy Gans. Mark and Kathy Gans, congratulations, congratulations, and we will be sending that to you. All
There
right.
you have it.
So, exactly. I don't have with me to show, but I would love. Just name it. Oh, really?
She's got a lot of stuff over there. What is it you want?
Let's do, it's the coronavirus giveaway. So we're going to.
One Cat Dana and one hand sanitizer.
One Cat Dana, one hand sanitizer, one ceramic cup. We did get, by the way, a lot of people are asking, and we were out of light pink and dark green Cat Danas, and I think the cup is right here. So you will pick the Cat Dana of your choice. That we have every color almost except solid black and solid white. So these are the colors, and where is the cup?
Oh, you're doing the cut too?
Yeah.
The cup
Oh, there's
too?
the cup, and
Oh, this
the
is
Cat
getting.
Dana.
See, I was trying to keep it simple. You got.
and the hand sanitizer, which is awesome because it has vitamin E in it and it doesn't dry your hands out. And there's a sponge in there, but that's so you get this, and this. All right. So
one Cat Dana.
one Cat Dana, right? So you
Okay.
pick your color if you win.
So I'm
this.
using the Cat Dana. This is the Cat Dana. I keep it on as sort of an ascot, but also I can. Any suspicious characters get near me, I whip this thing up.
You know what's scary? You
And,
could now go into a bank like that.
That's correct.
Whereas before,
They would have thought something was up. But like for example, a repair guy showed up today to help us with something, and the guy reached out to shake my hand, and I was like, "Whoa, hold everything now."
did you give him the bump?
No, I didn't. I'm not. No, you're not getting anything these
John
days.
and I even did the bump.
Well, that's different. But the handshake, I think, for the time being, is dead. But the Cat Dana is alive and well, and it is quickly available around your neck. And I think guys,
Well, it actually looks good the way it's worn. There's so many ways to use it, and we send a,
So
a,
I
a
keep
thing
the
with that.
I keep the hand sanitizer in the car. I keep one,
Here,
you
girl.
know, in wherever I am, so I could quickly. And that little bottle is a great size because it's the pocket edition.
Yes. No, this is actually a little bigger than the pocket
That's
edition.
too big, but
Yeah.
okay, whatever you want.
But
But I like the
it's-
2-ounce one.
And,
For
and
4?
it's with CBD or not CBD, so you have to make that choice too if you want.
I like the CBD one because as we get older, it does help with the arthritis.
Are
and
you
hand
kidding
pain.
me? I had that in my thumb from snapping my fingers all the time in a show.
Yeah.
My thumb hurt so much for the last few years, and it's gone. So the CBD, if you
It
have
cuts
pain in
down
your
on hand,
hands,
yeah.
it's incredible.
So-
all right, so here we go.
Transmitting
I
number.
have chosen a number between 1 and 35. It's a 2-digit number, and I'm sending it to you right now. That's right. I'm sending that to you right now. So, Dora's on it.
Dora has the number. Well, she gets. Wow.
Got it. Oh, did you? Okay, we need people to be honest about that now.
Did you get it that quick?
Okay, wait. I'm going to ask Ryan because he's like the watchdog.
Oh, he'll tell you if somebody saw it or not.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of people on there that are good watchdogs.
No, she's saying they may have seen it on camera. We'll see.
Yeah.
But if not, you know who won it? You have the name?
Well,
So verifying the
what is it?
Samantha.
Oh. Oh, wait a minute. Is that you, Samantha?
Yes. No, we don't show
The
it.
number
You guess.
is 17.
She got it like quick.
Oh my gosh. Well, Samantha Goet is sitting in the room, and there's no
Now
way
you have
she
to
could
come
have
on
known
camera
this.
and get your gift.
Yeah, it was the
Listen,
number
if
17.
You can keep your back to the camera, but walk up and she'll hand you your gifts. And pick
Okay,
out which one
Samantha,
you want.
you.
Keep the number 2. Keep the number 2 camera on so we don't show her face.
So you. This is John's girlfriend, Samantha.
John's girlfriend Samantha. She was not prepared to be on
So-
camera. Which color
No,
do you
it's
want?
okay because we
What
can
about the
we can do
tie-dye?
another one.
You like the tie dye?
Tie dye.
Tie dye and the
Okay.
and there you go.
Congratulations. Okay.
Go to the white. Go to number 1 camera, John.
That everybody, this is Samantha Goet.
There
This
you
is
go.
John's
and
girlfriend.
She just from the back of the room won with. Now she couldn't have seen it because it was just between you two.
It was so
Okay.
fast. Okay, so we're still on the air, right?
You're still on the air, although I think it's time.
Okay, I think it is
And
time.
Now the time has come.
Well, it's. I don't know if we are still on the air, but if we are,
Why wouldn't you be?
are we?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
on.
so if we're on the air,
Go back to 2, John.
we are going to be back. What is today? Wednesday, Friday? Today's Friday.
So you're back Monday.
So we'll be back on Monday, and it'll be just Todd and I. And then Wednesday, we'll probably have a guest. But on Monday, it's just going to be Todd and I, and we're going to have contests galore, okay? And just be ourselves.
Oh, you know, I don't forget I found that Debbie mug from the Unsinkable Molly Brown. The
Do you
crystal
want to
one.
give that away?
I'm going to give that away.
He found a crystal mug that was from the Unsinkable Molly Brown.
Right, but
not
not
the
from
movie.
the movie. It was
but
given
it was,
to her as like
and
from
someone engraved it, and it was
yeah, and I believe that would have been the Molly Brown tour
right.
when she took it on as a play.
Yes.
But nonetheless, it's a real something given to my mom. So it's a
So we
cool
want to
thing.
just say thank you so much for.
And we have this.
Yeah, and
we
we're
have a-
going to
We
do
didn't
our
do this.
usual out. And I also want to thank Maurice Benard for coming onto the show tonight. Also, his wife Paula for putting it together. And I would also like to thank Liz Cochran, who sent us lunch yesterday. We ate only because of you, Liz, because we were just so busy. And
It came perfect because everybody was too
and
busy
we were
to do it.
starving. So she sent us a taste of New Jersey. And we ate every bit of it.
Here we go.
So here we
Close up
go.
on number 3, and Kat will be doing the sound effects.
Right?
Ready, Kat?
Yep.
Here we go.
There's no place like home. And that's a good thing because that's where you are. So we'll see you guys on
Where we
Monday,
are.
and it's where we are too. In fact, it's where everybody is. Have a great one, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday.